Sir, please on audio on.
Good afternoon to all of you. Can you hear me now? Yes. Good afternoon. This is the session 5 of business statistics. All of you have joined today. And in the session 5, you are going to learn discrete probability distribution. This is the unit 5 in your SLM. And if the time will permit, we will also little bit we will talk about unit 6, because unit 5 and unit 6 of business statistics are interconnected with each other, because in the unit 5 we will learn discrete probability distribution, and in unit 6 we will learn the continuous probability distribution. Both are probability distribution, both are related to the distribution of probability. So of course we will talk about what is discrete probability distribution, what is continuous probability distribution, and then we will try to explain you first what are the different type of discrete probability distributions are available, and then we will also talk about what are the different type of continuous probability distributions are available with us, and what is the need of learning discrete probability distribution and continuous probability distribution for a business graduates. We all are doing business graduates. We all are the student of business. Of course, we cannot say we are the student of marketing. We are not. We cannot say we are the student of operation. We cannot say we are the student of this and that. But the objective of doing this PGDM program from IMT Serial is we are going to learn how to do the business. So how this discrete probability distribution and continuous probability distribution is going to help in business, that also we will explain during the discussion. And that's why if you will learn, yes, discrete probability distribution is helping in this manner in the business, then you can learn happily, you can engage yourself on these two topics in a better way. So before starting the discussion of this unit 5, let me share you the link as in the previously also we shared you the link in the Q&A. Let me open the Q&A. On the Q&A, I am making one small announcement before the discussion, and this announcement is the link. I'm just stopping you. Don't open the link right now. Okay, I have already shared the link to you. I published the link to you, and this link is a Padlet link wherein we shared you the PowerPoint of whatever we are going to discuss today. Number one, we also shared you the Excel exercise that we will do today, and then the quiz, and that quiz we will do here itself during after the discussion, and then you have to write the reflection that I will demonstrate you during the discussion at the end. So let's start the discussion, and I am going to share you my PowerPoint slides to all of you. And before starting this PowerPoint slide link I have shared to you, this is the Padlet link I have shared to you, wherein I put the session 5 PowerPoint. If you click here, you can get from there itself this PowerPoint. And today you are going to learn chapter 5, unit 5 in the SLM, discrete probability distribution, and that we will talk. We also uploaded here on the PowerPoint the quiz and the reflection and the Excel sheet. Excel sheet, we will see whether the Excel sheet is uploaded or not, that we will see later on. This is all about the roadmap of the today's class we shared to you. Now let me share you this chapter. This is your chapter 5 that you are going to learn today. Discrete probability distribution. Unit 5, here we will learn, we will talk today 4 important things. The first we will talk the properties of probability distribution, what is probability distribution, and how we are using this probability distribution. That is the first learning objective, and that we will cover today. Second thing, we will talk about how to compute the expected value and the variance of the probability from the probability distribution table. All of you have already learned in the previous class. If you recall the session 3, where I have told that the expected value means mean, median, mode, and the variance means, and standard deviation is the variation of data around the central tendency. So how we can calculate, find out the expected value and variance using the probability distribution table, that we will learn. This is our second objective of the session 5. And third one, we will talk about what are the various type of two type of discrete probability distributions are there. One is binomial, other one is Poisson distribution, and how we have to use the binomial and Poisson distribution, and how we can get the binomial distribution, how we can use the calculation using Excel of the binomial distribution calculation and Poisson distribution calculation using Excel. That also we will learn. So this is the 4 learning topics we will cover today. The first one is what is probability distribution. All of you have already learned in the session 1. What are the various type of variables are there? All of you know 2 type of variables are there. All of you are aware. One is called discrete variable. All of you know this. Discrete variable means a data which is emerging out from the counting. Suppose if you want to know how many participants are there, here you are counting. And if the data is emerging out from measurement, how many, what is the length of the house, length of your building, and that in that way you cannot count, you have to measure. So any type of data which is emerging out from counting, that is called discrete variable, that we have already learned in the previous class in the session 1. And continuous variable, any type of data which is emerging out from the measurement, is called the continuous variable. So now if the data which is already emerged from the counting, and the pertinent distribution is called discrete. If the data is discrete in nature, the pertinent distribution is called discrete distribution, discrete probability distribution. This is the discrete variable. Data is 1 to counting, and continuous means data is not having any stoppage in between. Here you see there is a gap in between, but here there is no gap. It is continuous. So that is the difference. So if chapter 5 focus on the discrete variable related distribution, and chapter 6 focus on the continuous variable related distribution. I think all of you are very clear. Let me try to understand with this particular example. In this example, if I want to tell you, try to understand it. 1 minute. I think here I have taken a data, a probability distribution. Why we are calling it is a probability distribution? Because the data, daily data is there. Here is the, in the column 1 you have the per day network data is there. The 0th day, 1st day, 2nd day, 3rd day, 4th day, and 5th day. And if in the second column, if you have a probability information, probability data is there, this table altogether is called a probability distribution table. In the first column, you see 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 are coming from the countings. And the second column, the each counting, their pertinent probability is given. That's why this probability distribution table, Why we are calling it a probability distribution? Because each counting is having their pertinent information of probability. That's why this table is a probability distribution table. Am I clear? Any table wherein the counting is there and their probability is given in the second column, this type of table is called discrete probability distribution. Am I clear? Discrete probability distribution, DPD. Discrete probability distribution, because in the first column all counting data is there and in the second column their pertinent probability is there. So if you see from this data set, discrete probability distribution table, if I will ask you that in the second day what is the probability of network, if you see a mutual exclusive list of possible numerical outcomes of a variable and the probability occurrence associated with each. So interruption, what was 20% interruption was there on the second day. This table is saying that point out of 1.20 means out of 100, 20%. So 20% interruption was there on the second day, and on the fifth day interruption was only 5% on the computer network. So here is a counting, day countings are there, and in the second column there is a pertinent probability information is given. That's why, because in the first column you have the counting data and the second column their pertinent probability is there. That's why this table is a discrete probability distribution table. Am I clear? I think if you will visualize it, all of you are knowing, for visualizing the discrete variable we have to use the bar chart. Am I right? So we visualize this information in this form. If you will plot in Excel, you will get the bar chart only. You cannot use the histogram. So I have visualized it with a bar chart, 0th day probabilities, first day probability, second day probability, because in the second chapter you have learned the visualization. So this table you don't use histogram, you have to use the bar chart. So we visualized with the bar chart only, and this is the bar chart visualization of this discrete probability distribution. So now I think all of you are clear. The first learning objective, if you will refer from the objective, the properties of probability distribution. There are two probabilities of the probability distribution depends upon whether your data is discrete in nature or continuous in nature. Number one, if my data is discrete in nature, the probability distribution is a discrete probability distribution. If the data is continuous in nature, the probability distribution is continuous probability distribution. Discrete probability distribution wherein the data is coming from the counting and the second column contains their pertinent information of probability. Then this type of data is called a continuous probability distribution table. Now similarly, if you will see the unit 6, and if somebody will ask you what is continuous probability distribution, their property you tell me. So continuous probability distribution, in the column 1 you have a column continuous data. Continuous data, for example, if I will ask you that what is the probability of student scored 10 to 20 marks, 20 to 30 marks, and 30 to 40 marks, and 40 to 50 marks. So here there is no gap, there is no counting. It is a measurement, 20 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, and 40 to 50. I have written on the top. So this distribution here is the measurement class wherein there is no gap is there. There is no counting is there. It is measurement. They score marks scored by any student, and the lowest marks is 10 and highest marks is 50, and their probability, their counting you note down. So a 0.2% student scored 10 to 20, 0.3% scored this, 0.1% scored this. So you count it here, 2, 3, 5, 6, and then remaining 0.4% means total have to be 1. So that's why you have 0.2, 0.3, 0.1 and 0.4. This is also a table, and this table is called continuous probability distribution table. And here, if you want to visualize this particular table, CPD table, you have to use the histogram or bar chart. You can easily say, we have already learned in the section in the unit 2 that for a continuous variable, the visualization we have to use the histogram, not the bar chart or pie chart. So in this case, we have to use the histogram to visualize it. That is given on the unit 6 of your book. So I think all of you are clear what is the probability distribution and what are the different type of probability distribution is there. This is the learning objective number 1 that we have to explain. The second learning objective, how the probability distribution is helping us to find out the mean, means central tendency, and the variance. That is the most important things we have to know, that is given in your section also. I am taking the same illustration, same example. You have a discrete distribution table, and which is here with a red mark. All of you can see this is there. This table is a probability distribution table wherein everyday network failure information probability is given in the column 2. In the column 1, you have a day number 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and their probability of network failure 35%, 0.25, 0.20, 0.1, 0.05, 0.5 is given. Now we have to find out in this 6 days of network failure, if somebody will ask you what is the average network failure, on an average network failure in the last 6 days, and you have a probability distribution data, what you have to do then? Very easy. You have to use this formula. In this formula, mu stands for mean, population mean, because it is a whole population. That's why mu. You are not using X bar. Please remember it. And formula is very clear. Summation of xi, all the days, that is xi, and their pertinent probability. Multiply it. And summation is there, I is equal to 1 to capital N, add it. So what we have done here, 0 multiplied by 0.35, we have got it. 1 multiplied by 0.25, we got it. 2 multiplied by 0.20, we got it. I think all of you are very clear. If you have any doubt, you can stop me here. But I am very simple way I am trying to explain you. So I multiplied all, and then because it is a summation sign here, that's why we added all these xi, pxi together, and we got 1.40. So what is the average network failure in these 6 days? So average network failure in these 6 days, we can easily say 1.40. Am I clear? So expected value mean how we can calculate using the discrete variable, discrete probability distribution in this table we have explained. That is our second learning objective of this section. And in this learning objective number 2 itself, we have to learn how to use the discrete probability distribution for calculating the variance and standard deviation. So the formula is we have already given in this PowerPoint. Some remembering formula is very easy. Sigma square I have already told in the previous class. Sigma star stands for variance. All of you have already learned. And if you will take the square root of the sigma square, you will get sigma, that is a standard deviation. And the formula is given here. The only difference between the expected mean and the variance is in the expected mean you are multiplying xi with the probability. Multiplying xi with the probability. Here you are multiplying xi minus the expected value. Mu you have already calculated in the being 1.40, and that you multiply it and take the square and multiply by the probability. That is the things you have to do, and if you will take the square root of this, you will get the sigma. This is the only things you have to do. Let us try to understand how we can find out the variance and standard deviation if we have the discrete probability distribution table. Very simple. One example will help you to understand, and this is there in the PowerPoint also. We are given on SLM also, and we are explaining here also. So it is very easy for you to understand. Now what I have done in the same, you see here, this is the probability distribution given to us.
I have just to find out xi minus summation. I have already find out in the previous table 1.40 was the expected mean EXI. This is 1.40. So I just subtracted from all xi 1.10, 1.4 and squared it. We got this one. And then we multiplied with their probability here, and we got each value here that you can see. And then we added it because the formula is summation. This is the summation formula is there. So added it, we got 1.426. So sigma square we got it 2.04. And if I took the square root of 2.04, we got the sigma, which I have already written in this PowerPoint also, 1.428. Very simple how to find out the standard deviation and variance of my whole data set once the discrete probability distribution is given. That also I explained here. So second learning objective of this chapter is also over. So this is third learning objective I am going to explain. Probability distribution. All of you are aware. In the third learning objective is we have to know that how many type of discrete probability distributions are there and how many type of continuous probability distributions are there, which is used in the business. Depending upon the nature of business, the distribution is also, discrete distribution is also classified into two categories. Try to understand here, very interesting. Try to listen carefully what I am going to say. As per the type of data, probability distribution is divided into two types. One is discrete probability distribution, other one is continuous. If my data is coming from counting, my distribution is discrete probability. If the data is coming from measurement, my distribution is continuous probability distribution. Am I clear? Now, the counting also, if my data is, suppose if I am having a counting, if I'm getting a counting, if I'm having a fixed count, suppose I am having a total count is 20 count, fixed number of count is there, n is 20 is there, fixed counting is there. One situation wherein you have in the first discrete probability distribution, you have taken the probability data of 6 days, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5 days. 6 days data you have. Am I clear? You have the 6 days data. So n is number of counts are clear. 6 number of counts were there. And their pertinent probability was there. So if the number of count is fixed, number one situation, and second situation, please try to understand. Second situation is both the condition, either if you have getting a rejected piece in the first count, you are either the interruption is there or not interruption is there. 20% is interruption, 20% is a network, a computer network was not proper, and 80% on the first day, 0th day, computer network was proper. So there is no, this is a mutually exclusive event. There is no in-between situation is there. There is no such situation, continuous, both is happening together. So both the event is a mutually, this particular business problem, wherein I am saying we are taking a data wherein the probability distribution is either computer network is either interrupted or not interrupted. There is no situation wherein we can say either interrupted or not interrupted. There is no intersection situation is there. There is no situation wherein interrupted and uninterrupted common land is there in this situation. So this the business wherein no common possibility exists, that type of event is called mutually exclusive event. We have already explained in the previous class. So if we have the mutually exclusive event and the number of events are also fixed, please try to understand. This is one scenario. And another scenario in counting is there. You are taking the count from say 9 AM to 10 AM time frame, or you are counting the number of spots on a particular car So the time space is fixed, numbers are not fixed. So time is fixed, space is fixed, but number is not fixed. But events are mutual, and events are also not mutually exclusive. That is the another situation. So time, a situation where time is fixed, we have to apply the Poisson distribution. This type of discrete probability distribution is called Poisson discrete probability distribution, where time frame space is fixed, number of count is not fixed. That is called Poisson discrete probability distribution. If the number of count is fixed and events are mutually exclusive, that type of events, that type of discrete probability distribution is known as binomial discrete probability distribution. Now it's clear. Discrete probability distribution is of two types, binomial and Poisson probability distribution. In a binomial, the time or space from where you are capturing the data is fixed, count is not fixed, but in the binomial, the time and space is not fixed, the counts are fixed. Then the binomial, time and space is fixed from where we have to capture the data, then Poisson capture the counts, then it is a Poisson discrete probability distribution. If the number of count is fixed, then it is a binomial discrete probability distribution. This is the chapter 5 talks about. The chapter 6, wherein the data is probability distribution is emerging out from the measurement, as we explained in the learning objective number just now in the 2. The distribution is a continuous probability distribution, and in this case the only scenario arises because there is no difference between time and number of counts. Everything is uniform, measurement is common, so the distribution is a normal distribution. So normal distribution is represented by a symmetrical curve like this. So this is a normal distribution which is being explained in the chapter number 6. So distribution, probability distributions are of two types. Number 1, probability distributions are of two types. Probability distribution is of two types, discrete probability and continuous probability. Discrete means the data emerging from counting. Probability means continuous means data emerging from measurement. Discrete is of two types, binomial and Poisson distribution. Binomial distributions are those distributions which is emerged from if the number of counts are fixed, and Poisson distributions are those distributions wherein the time and space are fixed, number of counts are not fixed. So these are the two types of distribution we have. Because in this chapter we have to learn binomial as well as the Poisson distribution, I am taking an illustration to understand binomial distribution as we discussed. I am coming to binomial distribution problem. Straight away, let us try to understand the binomial distribution example. Let us take this example and then it will be clear to all of you. Binomial distribution. Suppose the probability of an invoice payment being late by 0.10. What is the probability of one late invoice payment in a group of 4 invoices? Am I clear? So there is in your SLM, we have already given you the mathematical formula also, how we can mathematically calculate the Poisson distribution. Let me try to see these illustrations once again. What is the probability of one success in 5 observations if the probability of an event of an interest is 0.1? Here you see in this case, first example, you see calculating the this is in this problem. The distribution is binomial. Why it is a binomial distribution? Because we have a fixed number of observation, 5 observation, n is fixed. That's why this is not a Poisson distribution. It's a binomial distribution. And they are pertinent probability. What is the probability of one success if 5 observations? If the probability of an event is, and this is given, probability of an event is given 0.1 means 10%. So formula is here. This is the formula which is given in your SLM also. And this formula you just, if you want, you can note down here. Probability is equal to factorial n divided by x factorial. This is factorial. All of you, those who are not from mathematics background, there is no need of remembering this formula. But one time you remember n minus x I factorial pi to the power x into 1 minus pi to the power n minus x. This is the formula which is given here. Once I don't want to write again. All of you are already knowing. Suppose n means number of observation fixed 4 is given, and the probability of the event is 0.05 is given to you. Now you can put up the formula. If I am saying factorial, those who are new here, I am saying factorial 3. So what is the meaning of factorial 3? Those who are from mathematics or other background, they will understand easily. Factorial 3 means 3 into 2 into 1. If I am saying factorial n means n into n minus 1 into n minus 2, it will go till 2 into multiply by 2 into 1. So if I am saying here n factorial, it means what we have to do here, if the data is already given here, we can put in this and we can find out the probability. How we can find out the probability? N is known to you. N is known to you. N is how much? 4. So I am writing here 4 factorial. All of you do along with me. 4 factorial. X is given to you. I wanted to know X number of events of interest in a sample. I am trying to find out what is X. You please find out X. Check it. X is equal to 1. Or very simple. What is the probability of one event? Am I clear? So here X value is equal to how much? 1. So I am taking 1 factorial into 1 minus n minus x. N minus x means 4 minus 1 factorial. Am I with you, friends? All of you do along with me. Pi to the power x. Pi here is 0.5. What is the event probability? 0.5. So 0.5 to the power x. X means 1 multiplied by 1 minus 0.5. 1 minus pi means 1 minus 0.5 to the power n minus x. N minus x means 4 minus 1. Now all of you can calculate. Please calculate, all of you. Please calculate it. All of you do along with me. 4 factorial means 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. Am I clear? Divided by 1 factorial means 1 multiplied by 4 minus 1. 4 minus 1 means 3. And their factorial means 3 into 2 into 1. Am I clear? And then you multiply it by what? 0.5 to the power 1. If you will take 0.5 to the power 1, anything you multiply, take the power of 1, it will be 0.5 only. Am I clear? And then 1 minus 0.5. 1 minus 0.5 means 0.5. 0.5 multiply 0.5 and to the power how much? 4 minus 3. 4 minus 1 means 3. So 0.5 to the power 3. So 0.5 square means 0.5 into 0.5. A 0.5 cube means 0.5 into 0.5 into 0.5. I think all of you can calculate easily. 3, 2, 1 cancelled. Now I am just going to find out. All of you see here. 4 by 4 denominator is 1. So 4 multiplied by 0.5 and 0.5 to the power 3 means 0.5 into 0.5 into 0.5. Now I am requesting all of you to do along with me. Let us see 4 into 5 5 ja 25, 25 5 ja, who will say 125, 125 5 ja 625. Am I right? All of you please do. I think I'm correct. So 625, am I clear? 5 5 ja 25, 25 5 ja 125, 125 5 ja 625. So 625, 1 2 3 4. After 4, 1 2 3 4, and then I have to put 0, a point. So I have to multiply 0.0625 by 4. So all of you please multiply it. Very simple. You multiply it, and whatever answer is coming, I am leaving this to you. And that is the probability of one event. That is you are finding out the probability of one event in case you have a data pertaining to 4 counts and their probability is 0.5. So and one event's probability you will get it here. And here, because here the number of count is given, n is fixed, 4, probability is given, and there is no mutually exclusive events. That's why you applied binomial distribution and you find out the probability of one event. Similarly, what is the probability of 2 events happening? So here in place of x, you replace by 2, you can find out. So this is a mathematically, statistically, this formula you can use and find out. But Excel is also having the formula which you can use and find out, right? That I will demonstrate you after completing this lecture, right? This is the learning how we have to find the binomial distribution using the formula. So I explained you what is binomial distribution. If the distribution is there, if the count is fixed and the events are mutually exclusive, that type of discrete probability distribution is called binomial distribution. If the business problem is like that, and if the count is fixed given and mutually exclusive is there, apply the binomial distribution formula. I am showing you here. We have already done one illustration mathematically. Some more illustrations I have given on this PowerPoint. This PowerPoint continuous will help you in engaging yourself, learning the SLM and PowerPoint. Use the PowerPoint. So many slides we kept here for that purpose only. More slides because more illustrations we have incorporated. So this is also a same type of problem. Here we wanted to know what is the probability of one success in 5 observation. So here x is 1, n is 5, and if the probability of an event of interest is 0.1, so we have already got the answer 0.32805. How we have calculated? All of you please do the exercise. One more illustration I have given here. Suppose the probability of an invoice payment being late is 0.10. But you see this business problem. Here they are not saying whether your distribution is a discrete or continuous. Here in this exercise, they are not saying your distribution is binomial or Poisson or normal. They are here. You have a business problem. Now you as a business manager think whether my distribution is a continuous or discrete. So I have seen first, I have gone through this. Suppose the probability of an invoice payment being late is 0.1. So P is given to me. P is given to me 0.10. What is the probability of one late invoice payment in a group of 4 invoices? So I have a fixed count, n is there, and it is a counting 4 invoice, 1, 2, 3, 4 counts are there. So distribution is a discrete in nature, and because the number of count is fixed, n is fixed 4, so it is not Poisson, it is a binomial distribution. And they are asking, their probability is given to 1.1, and they are saying for one event we have to find. If the probability of one event, what is the probability that we have to find? So 1x is also given. So we have to apply the formula of binomial distribution formula. All of you have already learned binomial distribution formula, and they applied it here in this exercise, and they found the probability of one event in case the general invoice payment probability is 0.10 is 0.2916. We have already got it. Now we can use the Excel also to find out. We will demonstrate you how to find the Excel once I will complete this PowerPoint journey. This is the formula. You please note down. A function is there in Excel, binom dist. This is a function you can see. I will use this binom dist function in Excel to show you. Binom dist, X value, then N is fixed, then the probability and whether true or false that we have to take it, we will get the value. We will do the same exercise on Excel, right? So this is the Excel snapshots I have given. Let me complete this chapter, then we will come to Excel, right? And we will learn how to find out use the binomial distribution and Poisson distribution for calculating using Excel. That we will demonstrate you. First of all, let me complete this journey of binomial distribution we have completed. Now coming to the Poisson distribution. This is the last discussion of this chapter, section 5, last learning objective. We have to know what is Poisson distribution. As we have already explained in the beginning, you use the Poisson distribution. When we have to use the Poisson distribution, when we have to apply the Poisson distribution formula, when we are interested in number of times an event occurs in a given area of opportunity. Area of opportunity may be a time interval, maybe volume interval, maybe area interval. So the number of a scratch, example of a Poisson distribution, number of scratches in a car's paint on a whole one car. How many scratches there if you are counting? So a space is there. In that situation, instead of applying binomial, because area is fixed, time is fixed, then we have to apply the Poisson distribution. So number of a scratch in a car paint is an example. You are counting, but you are counting on a fixed area. Counting on a fixed area, so not the counts are fixed, but the area is fixed. So that's why the distribution is a Poisson distribution. I think this is a very important concept. All of you must understand how to differentiate between Poisson and binomial. An area of number of mosquito bites on a person. So person is a fixed. Person is fixed, and their mosquito bites you have to count. Number of bites is not fixed, right? The number of computer crashes in a day, here the day is fixed. In one particular day, how many computer crash, that is fixed. So day is fixed, time is fixed. Number of defective pieces from 9 AM to 10 AM. So time is fixed, and during that you are finding out in a company defective pieces. These type of cases you apply, instead of binomial, apply the Poisson distribution definitions. I have just taken, this is the formula for finding out the Poisson distribution. Poisson distribution probability for function formula is Poisson distribution x lambda. Lambda is the expected number of event. So e to the power lambda, lambda to the power x divided by x factorial. This is a very simple formula. Please note down, all of you. Here I am trying to explain you with example. You can find out what is lambda. Lambda is the expected mean. Here, let us try to understand one example, then you will understand how we can use this particular formula. P is equal to e to the power minus lambda, lambda to the power x upon x factorial. The average customer arrival rate in a 10 minutes window at a last fast food drive up window is 0.5 customer per minute. Average customer arrival rate in a particular time, 10 minutes is given. Please try to understand here. At a fast food drive up window is 0.5 customer per minute. Am I clear? What is the probability that 2 customer arrives in a minute? So x is given to you, x is 0.2, and lambda is also given, 0.5 customer per minute. Average expected mean is given to you. Now you can find out. Very simple. What we have to do is, you know, the probability, this distribution is a Poisson distribution because 10 minutes time is given to you. Am I clear? That's why it is a Poisson distribution. Very simple. Exponential minus lambda 0.50, and lambda means 0.50 to the power 2 because you wanted to know 2 customers arrival, divided by factorial 2. And this is the things we have calculated here. This is a Poisson distribution formula. How mathematically we can find out the Poisson distribution, that is given here. If you know, if you understand the concept, you can easily differentiate whether we should apply binomial or whether we should apply Poisson, and accordingly we can find out. So what is the probability that 2 customers arrives in a minute? So the probability of probability is 0.0758 is the probability that the 2 customer arrives in a minute. That question is answered from this Poisson distribution formula, Poisson distribution example. So how the Poisson distribution and binomial distribution helping us in solving this type of business problem that you have seen. Let us try to, because the time constraint is there with us, time and again I'm watching I just observe the watch. Let me see how we can do with the help of Excel. I concluded the discussion. Let me come back. I just try to encapsulate the discussion first, and then we will go for an Excel exercise. Let me encapsulate it. Whatever the things we have learned now, this is the encapsulation. We learned the properties of probability distribution. I think all of you have seen probability distribution means if a data set where the pertinent probability information is there, it is a probability distribution. Depending upon the nature of data, whether it's coming from counting or measures, you can differentiate the probability distribution into 2 types, discrete and continuous. And we have explained what is discrete probability distribution and continuous probability distribution. We have also learned the second objective. We have you are in a position to calculate, compute the expected value and variance of the probability distribution. That also you learned and completed the journey. So your learning objective is, second learning objective is also fulfilled. Third one is how to compute the probability from binomial formula and Poisson formula. Both the things I explained with an illustration. You also learned how to what are the 2 different type of discrete probability distribution is there, and continuous probability distribution is called normal distribution, and what is the formula for binomial probability distribution and Poisson probability distribution. So we have completed the session 5 objective. Let us come to the Excel sheet, all of you. I'm coming back to the Excel sheet. All of you see the Excel here. I have prepared one Excel sheet for you, wherein binomial distribution and Poisson distribution 2 illustrations I have given. The first I have taken the problem case. Suppose the probability of an invoice payment being late is 0.10. What is the probability of 1 late invoice payment in a group of 4 invoices? All of you can easily tell me. Now you tell me. You can easily find out, is it a binomial distribution, is it a discrete or continuous? Because here the invoice payment in a group of 4 invoices means it is a count. It means it is a discrete probability distribution. Number 1. Is it a binomial or Poisson? Because the number of count is 4, which is fixed. N is fixed. That's why it is a N is fixed. That's why it is a N I am writing here. N is equal to 4 is given to us. That's why it is a binomial distribution. Probability is known to you. And they ask X value for one event. What is the probability what is the probability of getting 1 invoice defective? So that we have to find out. You can use the mathematical formula as we have shown in the PowerPoint. We can calculate by using the Excel also. How we can calculate it? Write an equal to sign, all of you along with me. A function is there. binomial function, binom function. All of you see here. Binom dist function is there. Here is the binom dist function. All of you can see now. I am taking here. I have already used a function equal to sign, equal to sign, equal to sign. I am using a function for calculating binomial dist, binom dot dist function. binom dot dist is a function, binom dist function. Am I clear? Now, number of trial. What is the number of trial here? X I have already written here. X is equal to 1. You can pick the, you can play with a cell instead of playing with a number. So 1 is the number of trial, 1 event. What is the total trial? 4. So 4 I have already taken here. And then what is the probability? That also I have taken. And whether you are going for a probability mass function, yes. So I have taken a mass function, means false, and I close the bracket. I got the answer 0.2916. How we can use the Excel sheet for finding out the binom, if my business application is binomial distribution related, so how we can use the binom dist function to find the probability that I have shown here in this example. Am I clear? So the probability is 0.2916 for one event, once the event probability is 0.10 and total invoice count is 4. Am I clear? So you can find out the binomial distribution that using Excel that I have demonstrated here. We will upload this stuff. Now coming to another problem. Here is this problem. The average customer arrival rate in a 10 minutes window at a fast food drive-up window is 0.5 customer per minute. Here in this case, is it a binomial or a Poisson distribution? Very clear, because we have 10 minutes window given. So the time window is fixed, not the count is fixed. That's why it is a Poisson distribution. Am I clear? So now let us try to see, all of you, how we can use because the fast food window, what is the customer per minute arrival rate? 0.5. Lambda is given to you. What is the probability that two customer arrives in a minute? That we have to find out. So here is the formula. Let me try to do once more the exercise. Here is the formula. The function is in the Excel and the function is same. Instead of using binom dist, use Poisson dist. Here is the Poisson, Poisson dot dist. Poisson dist, the X value. What is the X value? You wanted to know 2 minutes arrival. So X is 2. 2 people arrival in a minute. What is their probability? So 2 people. So X value is 2. And what is the mean arrival time? What is the mean arrival time? Who will say? Mean arrival time is 0.5. That is given to you. And then whether you want to make it true or false. So I'm making it true now. If I'm making true, this is like this. If I'm making false, probability mass function. If I'm making it false, we got the answer. Am I? Because we are not applying for a specific one. That's why in this case you can put true. You are using for a mass, so that's why you have to make it false. So false, we got 0.75816. So what is the probability of 2 person arriving in a minute? The probability of 2 person arriving in a minute to that particular place is 0.075816. It means if you try to convert it into a percentage, you multiply by 100 this probability. So what is the percent in the percentage term? What you can multiply by 100. So 7.58% chance is there that in 1 minute 2% will come to that food restaurant. So this is the way how we are using binomial distribution and Poisson distribution for finding out the value using Excel. That also I demonstrated to you. Now this is the right time because time is very less. Straight away coming to the platform where I have already uploaded some quiz. Please click, all of you. Time is for Q&A time. So please do this exercise. Test yourself, all of you. We concluded our journey. Test yourself. We have already uploaded. All of you click this quiz at your end. I have already uploaded 4 questions here. And if you will submit, you can test yourself. They will give you which one is the correct. This time, the result you will get at your end. In the previous cases, I have taken your response. I kept myself to understand. But this time, I have you are going to check yourself because it is a self-test. Here, if you will click it, answers, how many percentage of marks you got, how many correct out of that, and which one is the correct option, that also is given here. So that you try. I'm just going to give you one of question number 4 here. If n is 10, pi is 0.7, then the mean of the binomial distribution is that you can find out. This is the question number 4 I have given here. Which of the following about the binomial distribution is not a true statement? You can read it. You read your PowerPoint. You recall my presentation. You read my record. You listen my recording carefully. You refer your SLM and answer all these 4 questions carefully. And once you will carefully answer time and again, you use this quiz and get yourself correct. This is the right time to complete the journey. I know all of you are already having my connect. You can, if you have any question, some of you have already pasted the your queries on the Padlet platform, and some of you are also writing at the different places. You can click the, now you do your Q&A. Do all of you the quiz first. Time is going to end now, so please do the quiz. If you have any Q&A, let me check. In between, all of you please do the quiz. From my side, I have concluded the discussion of the unit 5. We will meet you on next class. Sunday means tomorrow, the class will be taken by Professor Upal Chakravarti, and he will talk about the sampling distribution. Continuous distribution, I am requesting all of you to read by your own, unit 6. And if you are not able to understand, I am there. I will take up the continuous distribution in the next class, next class, because next class will be taken by one of our visiting faculty, an eminent visiting faculty, Professor Upal Chakravarti. So to bring a change in the test of learning journey and OLS journey, and Sunday he will interact with you, and hope he will give you a more industry-based exposure to you. With this, I am concluding today's class. Best of luck. Carry on learning. Thank you. Goodbye. Welcome back. Now you can see me, and if you have any queries, you can post the queries directly on my email ID or even on my
contact number if you have already having. Those who are not having my email ID or the contact number, for them I'm making an announcement. My email ID is nmmishra@imtcdl.ac.in. There you can write. Yeah, and if you have some urgent question not able to understand, you can write on WhatsApp also. A lot of student is writing and we are interacting with them. So WhatsApp you can put. This is my mobile number from where we can interact. I tried my best to make the learning more comfortable, more easy, and through Padlet platform, I try to make the learning more continuous also. I would like to request continue your journey and whatever you have, you must write a reflection in 100 words, whatever the things you learned in the session 5 today, and paste on the Padlet platform. And as per the past practice, I request everyone to write a reflection in 100 words without referring SLM and PowerPoint. What you have learned from this 1 hour discussion in 100 words. If you don't want to write, today you are living in an information age, and that also in an age where recording is much easier. So you can also record it, whatever you learned, good and bad, whatever test you have, and instantly you can share on the Padlet. Accordingly, that will help me to improve the discussion in the better way. Thank you very much. Time is up now. And I'm thanking you all of you. I'm stopping the discussion. It is 4:32. Thank you very much. Goodbye.